How you doing, folks? Eric Carlson here again, running for Congress in the 1st Congressional District here in Illinois. I want to go over some things tonight. This is my second video today. I've been running around doing a lot of paperwork and reports online today, and then I'll be back on the street again tomorrow. But I wanted to go over something about, people ask me all the time, you know, how do you think you can win this? What chance do you think you have in a district that's been Democrat for the last 88 years? Is a majority minority and you running as a white guy? That's all BS. When I'm talking to people on the street, they don't care about that. They want change. They care about the issues. So I'm going to go over the math for you. I know the Tribune, for one, and a bunch of other news organizations, when Jonathan Jackson won the primary for the Democrat primary on June 28th, they covered him, and then basically their story was, and he's the presumptive next congressman and everything. Nobody ever called me, asked me, talk to me about winning. The election results will be certified tomorrow. But I want to talk to you. This is to the people out there, to the voters. I don't care about the media. The people out there need to know this. If you think this can't be won, you're wrong. Now, traditionally, over the since 2010, when we lost another seat in the House of Representatives and they had to redistrict, Bobby Rush, before 2000, actually up to 2010, because that was still on the old map, before then he used to get regularly, every 2 years, his election, he got about 80% of the popular vote. When they redrew the district, they lost, they had to get rid of some of the Democrat areas, and he averages about 72 to 73% of the vote for the last decade. We just had a redistricting, so we just redrew the map. And again, this is where I tell people, now between 2010 and 2012, when we had the map, you lost 6.5% of percentage points. So that's what Bobby Rush, his average, going from 80%, down to about 73%, 73.5. So they lost 6.5 last time they did that. So if you just took that as history and put that into the mix, but I think this number is going to be actually bigger this time. I think the Democrats are going to lose more percentage because they had to slice this cake a little thinner than they wanted to. But in the suburbs and the rural areas here, the number of precincts is roughly the same as it was back then, but you have 60 plus more suburban precincts than you had in 2020. So you've picked up a lot more precincts in what is traditionally Republican areas of the county, of the 1st District. You also have an increase of independents in the country. A lot of people, and most of them that I've talked to, are Democrats that are just like, we got hoodwinked by the media and the party telling us that Joe Biden was the man and that he was capable. They got lied to. They're mad about it, and they're unfortunately dealing with the consequences right now, which is the inflation, the high fuel prices, the high food prices, all this other stuff, the instability of the world with Russia invading Ukraine, Iran saying, they just said today that they have the ability now to create a nuclear weapon. It's for another video. But Democrats want change. I'm out there almost every day on the street when I'm not doing stuff here in the office for the campaign and working. I'm out here on the street, and Democrats, especially black voters, which this district is 52% black. It's about 10% Hispanic and about 2% Asian. So it's a vast majority minority district is what it's labeled. But the people want change, and especially black voters. Almost everyone that I talk to is fed up. And I haven't had anyone say to me that, no, I'm not open to that idea of voting. And I put this up here, and this is for the folks that normally vote Democrat, and it can be a family tradition. You could have been a union member, and you think that this is the party of the working man and the ones that are going to help the working class people. Those days are gone. That party left town. I don't know where it went. Conservative Democrats aren't there anymore. But this is the chance. If you can't bring yourself to say, hey, I'm voting for a Republican, say I'm voting for a conservative. I don't care what you call yourself. We need to get through this together, and it's about policies. It's not about D's and R's. You're not a race traitor. You're not a party traitor. You're not a sellout. Any other names that When the Democrat Party has to call you names when you think about voting another way, you got to ask yourself who is actually looking out for your best interests. And again, I'm not a huge party guy. This is not. I ran on the Republican ticket because I am a conservative. And if you watch my videos, you see exactly where I'm coming from. So I want to go over some numbers here to show you why this is going to work. And I'm telling people, I would not be in this if I did not think I could win. Even with all my background, with no money, with no one behind me, and I'm not asking for any support. I'm doing this on my own to prove a point that it can be done without money, and it can be done genuinely by someone who wants to do good. That can't be bought by anybody. That's not taking anybody's money. This is what you're going to get from me. So let's look at some numbers here. On the Democrat side, in the primary for these years, these are the numbers that I could get for the primary. So you had 179,000, 104. Again, these are presidential years, so they're a little higher than this one. But in 2018, Bobby Rush ran unopposed. So you had an incumbent unopposed, and he got 104,000 votes, running against nobody. This year, the Democrats had 17 people running. The election prior, you had 4 people running in this race. They got 132,000 people to turn out in this election cycle. Granted, that was a presidential year, but still, this is a 49.82, almost a 50% decrease or actually, it's more than a 50% decrease. This is what you're seeing here is, number one, Democrat lethargy. So either they're just throwing their hands up and saying, hey, we're not coming out, we're done with it, we don't want to do it anymore, and they can't bring themselves to come over, or they went independent, which you're seeing a lot of people do. We're seeing that in the numbers. I believe a news report came out today saying that almost half the country now identifies as independent rather than Republican or Democrat. So that shows you where the two-party system is going. But you see this drop-off. Look at that drop-off. You only had 66,000 people turn out for an election between 17 candidates. Now, Jonathan Jackson only got 28% of that. So apparently, there's, you got over 70% of Democrat voters didn't even want Jonathan Jackson. And now they're looking at all this other stuff. I'm asking the same thing Donald Trump asked in 2016. What do you have to lose? Give me a chance for 2 years. I've said this before. If I cannot do the job, if you don't see improvement in my 2 years there, I will walk away. In 2024, I will walk away. Then you can elect Jonathan Jackson, whoever you want, and give it back to them. But you're never going to know if it can change unless you try. That's all I'm asking for is a shot here. But on the other side, so these numbers fell through the floor for the Democrats. So either they're not going to show up in November, or a lot of them are coming over to the other side. So when you lose 50% of your electorate, 50% of your voters don't even show up and are ready to just throw their hands up, you're in serious trouble. On the other side, the Republican primary. Now, we had from 2020 to 2022, so from the last section, in our primary here, because with the redistricting, we were up 160%, almost 161% in the number of people who turned out for a 4-way contested primary. Yes, these numbers, we're up 161%, they're down 50%. If you don't think that this is going to happen, folks, I'm telling you, I'm down there talking to people on the street every day. They are absolutely fed up with it across the board. Across the board in this, whether you go to the rural areas, suburban areas, or the city, everyone is done with the status quo. This is the chance right now to send somebody there who can't be bought, who isn't going to take shit from either side. The campaign motto. It's on all my business cards. It's on my signs. No more bullshit. We're sick of being told these lies by these people. Don't believe the media. Like I said, they already anointed Jonathan Jackson. Oh, he's going to be the next because, he comes from this family. And they play right into the Chicago machine. As far as I'm concerned, that is influencing an election. When you put that out, when you're a major publication, you just put out, oh, yeah, well, he's going to win. Well, I got something to say about that, and I think a whole lot of voters got something to say about that. So this is why we have elections. We don't just anoint people. So I can't be bought by billionaires. Somebody, Jonathan Jackson, received $1 million. He didn't actually, it wasn't put into his campaign, but a crypto billionaire put $1 million worth of ads for Jonathan Jackson the last week of the Democrat primary for him to win the primary, because they all think that it's over with. The old school thinking here, which this is what's going to screw them. The old school thinking is, oh yeah, we just win the primary and we're done. This is a walkover election. We drew the map the way we wanted down in Springfield. So yeah, this will be a safe Democrat. It's not, folks. It is absolutely not. Republicans are going to turn out. Independents are fed up with this. Black voters, the ones that I'm talking to, they're like, yeah, I'll check you out. Yeah, I'll give you a chance, man. Everyone, this election is going to be historic. Now, I wanted to do this video to get it out there. I'm not revealing any secrets or anything. I do have a game plan going into this. I had one before I started this. This is not just dumb luck, me throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. There is a plan. There is a plan here. There was a method to the madness. I'm doing this by myself. I don't have a campaign staff. I'm not asking for any money. I'm doing this by myself to show people it can be done. He spent, well, with the $1 million that was pumped in, and I don't know, last I saw he had over $300,000 in his war chest during the primary, so I don't know how much they actually spent, how much they're out of pocket. I spent about $2,100 to win the Republican nomination in a four-way race. So just from that standpoint, ask yourself, who is going to be a better steward of, I'm not even asking for your money, but who financially knows how to get things done by themselves with limited funds, still being able to get this stuff done. And we are on equal footing right now. He is the Democrat nominee. I am the Republican nominee. Now it comes down to us. Putting this out here right now, if Jonathan would like to forego any money from any, like I've already said, I'm not taking any money from PACs, from the party, from businesses, from anyone. If anybody wants to contribute, I think I've had 3 donors. People sent me money that I didn't ask for, and that totaled $250 from the 3 people. And I was actually getting ready to send that back to him had I not won the primary. So I'm not asking for people's money. It's about principle. It's about time. And the people who say that it can't be done are lying to you just because it's never been done. I wear a tattoo on my arm. A lot of you guys know. I was in a Ranger battalion. Our whole modus operandi is we do things that other people think can't be done. They look at it and say, that's impossible. That's when we say, okay, we got this. So I'm just asking people, please share these videos. Please get word out about my campaign. I need all the help I can get to get as many people in the district to know who I am and what I'm about and what I'm trying to do. So that's it for this video. The numbers are there, folks. The numbers are there. This is just rough figures. I've done other calculations and stuff. This is literally absolutely doable. Absolutely. So little bright spot for you. For those who think that it can happen, just keep an eye on this. And thanks for sharing. Again, I'm Eric Carlson, running for Congress in the 1st District. Thank you.